What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and this is my video where I'll be talking about a rundown and thoughts on AEW Dynamite for the 3rd of November 2021. And they start off with a bang. The AEW champ Kenny Omega taking on Dark Order's Angel or Allen, 5 Angels. That's what they call it. Or Dark Order number 5's Allen Angels. But in this match, they talk about how 18 months ago, Allen Angels actually went toe to toe and actually took Kenny Omega to the limit. I don't believe he was champion at that time. Here he is as champion, and even though Angels was game, he even kicked out of a V trigger. I thought, okay, maybe he's gonna pull this one out, but no. Despite the fact that the champ had to do two V triggers against the ropes, or stiff knees, high knees, what you want to call it, running knees, rolling knees, whatever you want to call it. That was enough to keep Angels down for the count. And then when he decides to team up on him and beat the you know what out of Angels with the other members of the Elite, Hangman came out and nearly connected with a buckshot lariat. And it was that close there, Omega. Your days as AEW champ may be numbered, and the fact that you left the belt in the ring and Hangman Page had the belt up, holding it up, and said, "You know what? I'll lay it right here for you." You know, because he knows that at Full Gear, he's going to take that belt from him. So he's like, "Here you go, take it back, and keep it safe, polish it up because it's coming home with me," says Hangman Page. Now, John Moxley, as we know, he's out. He's in rehab, and the best of him, AEW has put in his place in the semis for the World Title Eliminator Tournament. They have put Miro in his place, and John Moxley, for all that he has done for the industry, yeah, he really does need to take this time out and to really heal, get better, whatever demons, whatever things he's dealing with right now, why he went to rehab, take care of that, come back strong, and the world title will be waiting for him sometime down the road. He comes out, of course, on top of everything, and he's sober and everything like that. They're probably going to give him a title shot simply because he was in the tournament and he could have went far. He could have even went to the finals and won it and be the next contender. So they'll probably do that for him as a reward and as an reward, what you call it, and that's good. He's a great guy, a great wrestler, a great performer, someone that's needed in this in this industry. Out of all the bums and the pieces of shit that are in this industry, a lot of them are just out for themselves. But he generally loves the industry. And he's proven it day in and day out whenever he's in the ring. So I wish him all the best, and I hope that he does come out of this on top of things and goes back to what we know he does, and that is kicking ass, coming out to a wild thing. And when you hear that, everybody's going to sing that theme song, and they're going to sing him to the ring, and then he's going to pretty much do like what he did to number 10. He just kicked his ass, hit a paradigm shift, and he was done. Just like that. I think he was going to do that every match. And I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, God bless him, and hopefully he does come out of this on top, like I said, and he comes back. Now, MultiBlack, he's interviewed somewhere in the back, sitting on a stairwell, and he is banned from ringside in the Andrade versus Cody Rhodes match. But that decision, he says, won't have an effect because, as Black put it, he uses the history, and he talks about Julius Caesar. When he was assassinated, it wasn't just Marcus that betrayed him. So pretty much saying that there could be some other people that, despite him being banned, doesn't mean that there's not going to be someone else that's going to do something. I've always said this. These matches where they go, you're going to face this one, but your guys can't be there. Let's say Inner Circle. Jericho has a match, and Inner Circle can't be there. But does that mean that there's someone else that can come in there and interfere on his behalf? That's where it says that you should say no one is allowed. Everyone is banned. That's how you say it. And that's pretty much what he's saying. He's like, oh yeah, you can ban me, but that doesn't mean that ain't gonna be someone else that's gonna probably stab him in the back or do what you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Now CM Punk, yet again, he's in the ring for a promo segment. And for once, it ain't a love fest as he looks serious. What's on his mind? He calls for the crowd to chant Moxie's name. He says he's going to talk about two people. And he's serious. He said there's no stage dive, there's nothing like that. He wants people to listen to him. And I would hope to think that it's him saying, stop with the nonsense. I know you guys like to chant, love like that, but today let's make it be serious about this, right? And like I said, he calls for the crowd to chant Moxie's name, and of course the sheep do as he asks. And I'm not saying that it was wrong at this point, because right here, this is when I really wanted to hear it. But he gives him praise, and he asks that no one criticize him for it, and that's true. Whenever somebody they kind of expose their weakness, it's exposed. There's those trolls, and there's those people online and social media that will pounce on somebody and call them an asshole, call them a punk, call them a this and that, and drives some people to suicide, drives some people to do desperate things. And those people are assholes. They're punks, and they're just idiots for thinking that it's cool. I'm going to, push this guy to go even further deeper into depression and suicidal thoughts and all that stuff. I mean, that's not what is the problem with CM Punk, but I mean not CM Punk, but with Moxley. But that always happens for anybody, any kind of thing that they're going through. And this right here, he's doing that because he respects him. They have a history. There's no love lost between him and Moxley, but he pretty much was saying, what he did. It took a lot of courage. He's a hero for doing it, and we need to continue to chant his name because he deserves it. And he's talking about two people out there. He says that if you feel like you're in a situation where you need help, reach out, ask for somebody, ask for help. That's what you got to do. Personal thing with me is that I did that and people didn't help me. Luckily, I had, the one person that I truly rely on. That's my brother. I know he watched this video. I love you, bro. He was there for me all the time. Now imagine if I didn't have him. Yeah, but there are other people that I reached out to, and they just look at you like you're weak. So I understand what he's talking about. I really do. And then he moves on to the second name, and that is Eddie Kingston. We all remember what happened with Eddie. For some reason, he was flipping and tripping out on Punk. He's thinking Punk's laughing and smiling at him, but he was just, having fun back there in a backstage interview with Tony Schiavone. And he's like, what's your problem? It's like, there's no beef between us. But then he goes, people were chanting Full Gear. He's all, well, that's that. But, he says he's going to be in St. Louis. And he will gladly accept his apology. I mean, pretty much telling him, you better apologize because I didn't do anything. Punk's telling him, I didn't say nothing. What's your problem? Now, this Friday, he will find out who Kingston thinks he is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he says, that this Friday he will find out who Kingston thinks he is. So he's gonna find out, what is Eden Adam? What is his problem? Yeah, he did, lose in that match, and he feels like the referee called for the bell and didn't really need to do that because I guess he felt he's not gonna tap out, for that match, but he did. But anyway, let's move on from that. Very good segment. I liked it. I think that CM Punk really did well, and I love that he said what he said about Jon Moxley. Now Miro, he's still not satisfied with his God. He's put in this eliminator tournament and pass. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, good. I hope he does well. Maybe he'll win this thing and become world champion. But the whole thing with him and his God, this and that, and I want to satisfy not only my God but her. I guess he's talking about Lana. Well, she's now known. I probably got back to her name before that, which is C.J. Perry. So maybe he's talking about his wife. So Now Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander will face off in the semis in the TBS Women's Championship Tournament, and Ruby admits to being scared. You know, facing Statlander, she respects her, but it's like she knows what is in store for her. Statlander is not going to be a pushover, and even Chris talks about how, yeah, she doesn't need the title to define her. She is the leader of her fan base and her crew and all that stuff, and she doesn't need a title to, but a little gold wouldn't hurt. Yeah, she still said, hey, a little gold wouldn't hurt. So I'm thinking, okay, and I would love to see her as champion, even whether it be TBS Women's Champion or AEW Women's Champion. Maybe before it's all said and done, she will win both. And now it's on to the AAA Tag Team Title match. Samurai Del Sol, formerly known as Kalisto. They even gave him a Lucha Lucha chant. It's great to see him. And his partner Aerostar. I'm not familiar with him, but loved what he did in this match. And then, of course, they faced the champs FTR. And then you listen to Excalibur say Triple A. But that loser Justin Roberts says it the way he says. Triple A. What are you trying to do, Justin Roberts? You're not cool. You don't work in Triple A. Stop trying to talk like you got a Mexican accent, or you're trying to pronounce every Mexican word like a Mexican person would. It's Triple A. That is the name of the company. That's what we know it as. It's not Triple A. Maybe they say that in Mexico, but we're not in Mexico, are we? And even Excalibur, he would say it Triple A, and then he kind of has a weird inflection in his voice, as if to say, "Am I supposed to say it like Justin Roberts says it?" No, no. If that's what you're thinking, Excalibur, please just say Triple A. You know, just say Triple A. Don't sound like that idiot Roberts. And in the end, and a highly fun match. It was fun. Loved everything that I saw in this match. FTR used the ropes to secure a pinfall. Well, Cash Wheeler, I almost said his WWE name. Cash Wheeler did so, and they remained the champs. And we see a little bit of a scuffle there. They're continuing to beat on their fallen challengers, and then in comes what do they call it? They're the guys that they're going to be facing at Full Gear. Ray Phoenix and Penta El Cerro Miedo. Lucha Bros, the reigning AEW Tag Team Champions, and they're looking to secure those titles. Are the FTR, and let's see what happens at Full Gear. Then Nyla Rose confronts Hikaru Shida, who actually is awarded the trophy for her 50th win in AEW, and they kind of teased her a little bit, and they're talking about how's the leg, and they're going to face off for the semis in the TBS Women's Title Tournament. And I looked at the full bracket at the end of this evening. Man, that semis are like, it's like a toss-up. Who do you want to win? Either opponent, either person in the except for Jade Cargill, she's waiting on the winner at Rampage between Red Velvet and the Bunny. Now, so that was that, and I'm kind of worried about Sheeta too. Big fan here, and I hope that she wraps that knee up, that leg, the knee. It was the knee, right? Wraps it up tight, makes it secure so that there's no way that we got more damage can be done to it. Now, who will the Inner Circle choose as Men of the Year's partners in the Minneapolis street fight? I say choose Paige Van Zandt because she's always acts tough. Let her prove herself. Now, then as we see the Inner Circle, they come out and the crowd is singing Jericho's theme song. Old Dan, don't call me dipshit Lambert. I love that. Comes out and berates the crowd. He has an open contract that all of the America's Top Team have signed. And I was thinking, how is choosing anyone on the ATT is going to be a detriment? Because all their guys are, badass. They can fucking kick ass. They're MMA fighters. They're, you know what I mean? But I say, choose all their partners to be all women. I don't know how many. I think there's another one that they had out earlier in the fucking month or pay patent pass. That will put them at a disadvantage because as of now, AEW doesn't allow men versus women, right? So that means the men of the year would have to carry the whole match. Or maybe one of their choices will be Dan Lambert. So who do the inner circle choose? Hager. Jake Hager comes out. He's in the ring. Well, they're all in the ring actually, and he chooses Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos, whom he refers to as looking like a Popeye, and even does the Popeye imitation. I don't know if that was just as bad as as Jake Hager's was. Santana chooses Orlovsky and points out there are no rules or regulations and tells him to bite this. We all know what he's talking about. I don't need to illustrate. And who is their third pick? Is it Austin Vanderpoort? The husband of Van Zant Page, and then Van Zant appears to volunteer. But it seems her words, she's wide open. She can take all 5 of them on by herself. I mean, come on, Jericho, roast her ass, because she kind of opened herself up to some colorful retort from the Le Champion, the Demo God. And Jericho says, hey, it writes itself. That's true. She can put it on her OnlyFans. That's what he said, too. She takes on all 5 of them. You know how the OnlyFans at times goes, right? And Ortiz calls her something in Spanish. And then the Spanish guy translates for Paige, who's asking, what did he say? And then Sammy says, you're a bitch. And I've been saying that for weeks now. He's just annoying. He's like, oh, come on. Really? They're not going to do nothing to you. They don't wrestle women. I mean, they would tend to wrestle women more in AEW than they would WWE, but I haven't seen it a lot. If any, really. And then, who do they choose in the end? Well, Dan Lambert is who they choose because, after all, he said he was the first member of America's Top Team. And it is set for Full Gear. He was in denial. He said, I didn't say that. And, then you look at the guys like Men of the Year and them, and they're like, and then Junior Dos Santos, and he's like, they're all like with their hands over their head and they're worried and shit like that. And I'm going, all you guys have to do is just carry the damn match. Don't let him get into the ring. Because you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to be cheering for it. Probably everybody's going to be calling for him to be tagged in. I'll call him for him to be tagged in so he can get his ass tagged. You know what I mean? Get his ass beat. Now, Matt Sydal and Dante Martin are backstage along with Lee Moriarty and Leo Rush, and they will face off in a tag team match. But when? Well, we shall see. Jamie Hayter will square off against Anna Jay in the first round of the TBS Women's Championship Tournament, and the winner will face Thunder Rosa in the semis. And with a little help from Dr. Britt, Anna Jay is distracted. Of course, I hate that. I hate that thing when someone is don't worry about who's outside the ring. Worry about the person in the ring. And then Hayter ends up hitting a stiff lariat, and move that she's used to win her matches, and she does so here, and she advances over Anna Jay. And so now it's going to be Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa, who did make an appearance after, of course they were beating on, Dr. Britt and her girls were beating on Anna Jay, and then out comes Tay Conti, then they beat on Tay Conti, and then out comes Thunder Rosa and runs the trio out of there. And we'll see now as Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter face off in the semis. And Jade Cargill talks about how, well, it doesn't matter if it's either the Bunny or Red Velvet, because she's going to make short work of them, and she's going to rename the belt, like she said before, That Bitch Show. Okay, we got it. We got it. That Bitch Show. We got it. Because you're a bitch. We got it. Okay, we got it. And MGF comes out. Seems like he always has these comments, these segments, and he comes out and he's confused as to why he is booed, but then Darby Allen is cheered. It's like a typical MJF promo. Cut down the crowd and compare them to the babyface. And then we see it evolve into a brawl between him and Darby. Darby says, you know what? Because he was being accused of not being able to wrestle. He's going to use all of his wanting to just tear up and beat up on MJF. So that's going to make him easy pickings because he's not going to be focused. But he says, you know what, MJF? I'm going to be wrestling. I'll be in a wrestling match at Full Gear. But tonight, I'm going to be the old Darby Allin. Well, then what? MJF, like the weasel that he is, decides to scoot out the ring, but then Sting's at the top of the stage with guys who have MJF, or I think it was Darby Allen, faces on them. I'm trying to remember. But then, of course, the other members of the Pinnacle come out, Sean Spears and Wardlow, but they're fought to the back. Sting has a bat, so, you know. And then we see an amazing display of just brutality from Darby Allen. And at one point, they're in the crowd, and MJF is his back up against the I guess the barricade, and up the stairwell or up the rampway or in the crowd goes Darby Allen. And then Darby Allen runs down. It was flat. It wasn't stairs. I remember one time they were doing. I think it what do you call it? What was it? I think it was Jericho, or was it what do you call it? John Moxley. And then they were trying to run down fast, but they had to go down the steps. But at least this one was flat, so he could run. He jumped. He did a flying clothesline to MJF, and he took him over the damn what do you call it? I think Jr. says ass over tea kettle. And he falls back into the ring area. And it's going to be a really great, fun match. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun seeing Darby Allen beat the crap out of MJF. And MJF is talking shit about Darby Allen as if he's a scrub, as if he's somebody who doesn't know what he's doing. That guy could kick anybody's ass. He takes on all comers. He ain't no pushover. I don't know what MJF thinks he's doing. Now, let's go to the main event, and that is Andrade El Idolo versus Cody Rhodes with MultiBlack band from ringside. And then this match, we had two second generation superstars. So you have, Andrade from his family, wrestlers. Cody's background as well. And this match was very, very. It's a lot of fun. It was physical. It was really, really just a show of what these two can do, and I was waiting for the lights to go out, I mean, just because he's banned from ringside doesn't mean MultiBlack won't appear. Maybe he can appear and then not do nothing, but we see as Cody attempts a suicide dive, FTR come out from under the ring, and they use the AAA tag team title belts to knock out Cody, and Andrade finishes off Rhodes with a DDT. That what's that? The double underhook or a double what do you call that thing where he cinches him up and then he does a DDT. I love the name of it. I don't know why I forgot at this point, but he pins Cody, and then you see Arn get involved. He tries to help Cody. And then, did I say that earlier? This is when the what do you call it came out, when the Lucha Bros came out. Was at this time, right? I think I said that earlier during their defense of the. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but I know they came out and yeah, I think that's how it was. That's how it went. You gotta bear with me, folks, because I just got home from work, very tired. I forgot to mention about the Super Click. They're reminding everybody who they are, and last week's loss was a fluke. And then in comes Christian Cage, and then Luchasaurus, and then they get him some of the Elite, and then Jungle Boy takes flight in the arena and takes out the Elite. But then we see mayhem all over the stage. It goes back and forth. This rivalry ain't over. You see a concerto from Christian Cage to Adam Cole. And there's people online that are saying that Adam Cole's being ruined by AEW. How? This is how he acts with the Elite. You're not going to see how he acted with the Undisputed Era. And I don't think there's anything bad right here. I think these guys actually, they could be annoying at times, but it's actually, to me, working. It's just the way they are. They want to get under your skin. They want to, annoy you that way, Stuff like that. It's that itch that you think you got it moved over here. You think it's right here, but it's on the other side of your arm. You can't get to it. It's like that. You want to get under your skin. That's how they are. You know what I mean? But this was a very, very good edition of AEW Dynamite. It's been really, really good in the past several weeks, and I'm just saying, straight up, that I'm a fan. I'm an AEW fan. I love what they do. I'm a WWE fan too, but they got their things that I hate, and the AEW too. I mean, they're not perfect. They're not perfect, but there are things I find that I like, you know, in both organizations, both the promotions. So there's no argument from me, and I'm not comparing one to the other. A lot of people want to do that, but I take it for what it is individually. Now I can say that this match was better than this match, or I say that they're trying to do something. WWE is trying to take from AEW and try to duplicate it, and they fail. Stuff like that. But whatever I'm trying to say, just that I'm a fan of both. But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.